Hello all. In today's class, I'm going to discuss about statements and blocks. Okay. You may know that in the first class itself, while discussing the structure of the C program, we were discussing about the parts of C program, that is preprocessor directives, functions, statements, variables, and comments. Okay. Statement, it's actually an executable part of the program. Statement, it's an executable part of the program. Okay. This statement can be an expression or any input output function which is ending with semicolon. Statements can be an expression or it can be input output function like printf or scanf, okay, which is ending with semicolons. Okay, so every statement must be end with semicolon. Every statement must be ending with the semicolon. But there is some few exception, like conditional statements or looping statement will not end with semicolons. Okay, we'll discuss that in the later classes. Okay, so statement can be an expression or it can be input output function which is ending with semicolon. These statements are the executable part of the programs. Okay, when there are some n number of statements to be executed at once, I mean, if all the statements I want to execute, then I need to group that within the opening curly braces and closing curly braces. Okay, if it is containing, if the curly braces, that is opening and closing braces, is containing some one or more statements, then it will become blocks. Okay, block means n number of statement which is present between the braces, that is open braces and closing braces. Curly brackets and braces are the same. Okay, and the braces either at the beginning or at the end will not include any semicolon, but statements inside the block will have semicolons. Okay, we'll see one example for the statements and blocks. As we said, the statement will end with the semicolon. Blocks which is n number of statement which is present in the opening and closing braces. Okay, here I'm considering if statement or if block. Okay, you can see here, inside the if we are checking some condition, we have blocks here. Okay, opening and closing. This block will contain some n number of statements. It can contain n number of statements. Okay, so what is this if, or what is this conditional or two-way selection statement? We'll see that in the later classes. Today's class agenda is what is statements and blocks. Statements is just an expression or it can be an input output statement which is ending with semicolon. If the group of statement, if there is some n number of statement grouped together within the opening and curly braces, it will become blocks. Okay, here I'm giving an example, that is if block or if statement. If block, inside if conditional, I'm included some n number of statements. This is just a syntax. Okay, we'll see the example. Okay, we have a program with variable that is number, and we have a output statement and input statement which is ending with semicolons. Here int number is a statement, printf is a statement, and scanf is also statement. Okay, we have a block also. If I'm checking some condition, if number is lesser than 0. Okay, scanf, it is used to read the number. That number will be stored inside the address of this number, I mean the variable number. If the number is lesser than 0, it is executing the statement which is present in opening and closing bracket only if this condition is true. While giving the input, if I give lesser than 0, it will enter this block, it will execute. Okay, otherwise it will skip entire this block. In this example, it is containing only one statement, but blocks can contain any number of statements. Okay, in case of if block, if the condition is true, then only it will go inside that block and execute all the statement present in that. Otherwise, it will skip complete block. It will skip complete block. It will go outside and execute the else part or other remaining part of the program. Okay, assume that if the input is -2. If the input is -2, okay, it will print the message. Something like -2, it's a negative number, obviously it is lesser than 0. So condition is true, it will enter this block and it will print the message, you entered the number containing -2, it will print you entered -2. I mean, this format specifier will be replaced with the value of this number, that is -2. Okay, this is one possibility. Okay, assume that if I enter 5, here 5 is not lesser than 0, condition is false, it will skip entire thing, it will go to the other statement, it will print the message like the if statement is easy. You can observe here, in the previous case it is printing the number as well as if statement is easy, but in this case it is printing only the if statement is uh, easy. It's not printing the value 5. The reason is here the condition become false, so it won't enter the if block. Okay, it will directly go to the other part and execute. But in the previous case the condition is true, so it will execute inside the if condition and the remaining part of the program. Okay, there's a difference in putting the else and directly putting the statement. If I put the else, either if part will get executed or else part will get executed. Here I didn't put any else statement, so by default the C program will execute sequentially. If block is true, it will execute the if statement, then followed by the other printf statement. If block is false, directly skip the if block and it will go to the other statement. Okay. So in this today's class, we discussed about the statement, blocks and simple if. Statement, it can be an expression or input-output statement ending with a semicolon. Blocks, it's a group of statements present within opening and curly braces. Simple if, just to check the condition. If without any else part, I mean if without any false part. Okay, we'll see the example for the statements and block. You can see it from here. I'm declaring one variable a. I'm just printing a message, enter the value. Okay, and I'm reading the value for a. You can see the syntax of scanf here. Okay, scanf is a function which is used to read the value from the user, I mean from the keyboard. Here I'm trying to read the value for a, which is integer variable, so format specifier must be %d. As we discussed in the earlier class, okay, in order to store the value I must use ampersand. Unless it is a array variable. Okay, here a is a normal variable which can take only one value, so I must make use of ampersand. Okay, if the value which I am entering for a is an even number, I mean to say, how to check the even number or odd number, I am using the modulus operator. Modulus operator will give the remainder after dividing a number. For example, if I enter 5 divided by 2, it will divide 2 times and remainder will be 1. So 1 is not equal to 0. So the number is not an even number. It will go to the else part. Because if condition is false. So if condition is false means it will go to the else part. So it will print the 5 is, it's not an even number. It's actually odd number. I'll just change it. Okay, it will print the message like %d is odd number. Okay, assume that the number which I entered is 4. 4 modulus 2 will give the remainder 0. I mean modulus operator will give the remainder. So 4 modulus 2 will be 0. Remainder is 0. So obviously if condition is true, it will enter this block and execute. Here we have two blocks. One is if block and another one is else block. Okay, and these are all the statements. Even block will also contain some n number of statements. Okay, we'll see the output of this program. Okay, it's asking me to enter the value. I'll type 5. Okay, from the program you can tell me the output. That is, it will go to the else part, not if part, because 5 modulus 2. If I divide a 5 by 2, the remainder I'll get is 1. 1 is not equal to 0. So in order to find the number is even or odd, I just need to divide by 2 and find out the remainder. To directly find out the remainder, I can use the modulus operator. Okay, so 5, it's an odd number. You can observe in the if statement I put %d, that is 5 is even number, but it is wrong. If condition is false, so it will go to the else part, it will print 5 is odd number. Okay, and it is printing another statement called else, end of else. Okay, let me run this program again and give the even number. Okay, I'll enter 24. Okay, I'll press enter. So it is condition is true. 24 is a even number. So it will print 24 is a even number, and it is executing the statement from if part, that is end of if. Since I put else, definitely it won't go for the else part. Okay, thank you.